Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where in today's episode, we're going to be diving into the first issue of The Rise of Kylo Ren. We're going to do a breakdown and a review. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee.
I have spoken.
Hello there to all of the returning subscribers, but if you're new to the channel and you're just finding me for the first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on this video and any other video from the channel that you check out, and be sure to hit that notification bell so that the bell is completely filled in, as this is the way you will never miss a new video the second it goes live.
Do it!
Kylo Ren has been one of the most intriguing characters of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. He's a clear fan favorite and is one of the most diverse characters in terms of just his overall character, in the sense that he is one who has a really good arc in the sequel trilogy, whereas some characters like Poe and Finn don't really have much of an arc at all. Kylo Ren has this roller coaster ride of emotions and essentially a lot of storylines, especially in his mental space, where he's constantly fighting between the good and the bad and the dark and the light side of the Force, and which side he really belongs in. And that's definitely reinforced in this third film of the sequel trilogy. So before we go any further, I'm going to throw out a spoiler warning for anybody who hasn't seen The Rise of Skywalker yet, or anybody who hasn't read The Rise of Kylo Ren and wants to see and or read either one of these things. So please consider this your spoiler warning. So the Rise of Kylo Ren comic is actually really good. Charles Soule writes it. He did excellent work with the Darth Vader comics as well. This Rise of Kylo Ren series is going to be a 4-issue series, so it's not going to be extra long, but it is really good, especially for the first 2 issues that we've been getting. As I just said, the first 2 issues have been out so far, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the first one. So my overall review of it before we get into the breakdown of it is, this first issue is actually really good. It sets up a lot of great things, and it really starts with the time of Luke's Jedi Temple being destroyed. We knew Luke's Jedi Temple was destroyed when we saw The Force Awakens, but in The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson gave us some more insight into that with a little bit of a flashback where Luke and Kylo Ren share their views on what happened in Kylo's fall to the dark side. And we really see Kylo's version of this, hence The Rise of Kylo Ren. So we're starting off really there. So it was a great comic, again, written by Charles Soule. I encourage all of you to go check it out. Before they get to the actual Kylo Ren arc of this comic, they start off by doing something very interesting, which actually I think will make a lot of people happy. And that is, they start off by going over a little bit of the history of the Knights of Ren to set up something for the second issue, which I won't get into in this video. But they start off with the preamble giving us some context to the Knights of Ren. And if you read the visual dictionary for The Rise of Skywalker, on the Knights of Ren page, you will know, and I've talked about this in my Knights of Ren video, that Kylo Ren was not the original leader of the Knights of Ren, and the actual original leader was named Ren, and we actually get to see him. And in the Rise of Skywalker visual dictionary, I believe they say that that might be a myth and or a legend, but it seems to be pretty concrete with Charles Soule actually penning that to the paper. So we actually have Ren as the original leader. And when we first meet Ren, he is after these 2 Force users, along with the rest of the Knights of Ren. They're already assembled. The only difference is that Kylo Ren isn't leading them, and that the original Ren is. And he kills both of the Force users who are willing to join him. And he says that not everybody is able to join them, because if everybody wanted to, it would be a little easy. Something along those lines. And so obviously this is just going to set up the arc of Kylo Ren ending up as the leader of the Knights of Ren in future issues. So the remainder of the first comic, going back to the present timeline of the time that it started with Luke's Jedi Temple collapsing, is... Okay, so now we saw that in The Last Jedi, but I feel like I need to inform you that this is obviously before The Force Awakens. So even though we actually saw this come to the big screen in The Last Jedi, just keep in mind in terms of the Star Wars timeline that this is before The Force Awakens. So, the remainder of the first comic deals with Kylo Ren and the destruction of Luke's Jedi Temple, and 3 of Luke's students coming back from some training or some mission. It doesn't really give much context into that, but they end up seeing Kylo and asking what happened. And Kylo gives his take on it, saying that Luke tried to kill him, and that this is what's happening now. Luke's temple is burning. And so Kylo Ren is ready to go, and he's trying to leave with them. And the 3 students who are remaining of Luke's Jedi Temple are attempting to reason with him and essentially decide to duel him in a lightsaber battle to prevent him from escaping and trying to reason with him. And what I got from when I was reading this is a throwback feel to the Anakin Obi-Wan Revenge of the Sith type of conversation, especially with the visuals and the dialogue. It was really well written, really well drawn. It's really good. And one of the things I liked what Charles Soule did is he's willing to let them live. Kylo Ren's willing to let these students live. And this whole time, by the way, they're referring to him as Ben. So he's willing to let them live, and all he wants to do is escape. He just wants them to let him go in peace, so that way he can just leave. And they clearly are not about that. And so they make a nice point to say that to really give more context to the ability of Kylo Ren, one of the students of Luke's Jedi Temple says that he is related to both Luke, Han, and Leia, and he's like the offspring of legends. And this really just gives a lot more credibility to the fact that Kylo Ren is so powerful and is able to outmaneuver all of them really easily. And when he does easily outmaneuver them, obviously, he then goes to Snoke, who has been speaking to Kylo Ren like Obi-Wan was able to speak to Luke during the end of A New Hope and Empire. And that's really something interesting to see in the way Charles Soule plays with that idea. Because when Luke's Jedi Temple catches on fire, Kylo Ren didn't do anything to initiate that, and he just sees it, and they really give more humanity to Kylo when he says, I didn't mean for any of this to happen. And Snoke continues to manipulate him and saying, this is all Luke's fault, essentially. And Kylo, so it's interesting to know that before this comic was released, we all thought that Kylo Ren was the one who actually destroyed Luke's temple, but it appears to be Snoke. And even though he says he didn't want this, this reinforces the good that's still in Kylo throughout the sequel trilogy, and it really reinforces his character arc of coming from the dark to the light. And so, the way that this comic was written, Charles Soule really has a good grasp on the character of the way Kylo Ren is supposed to be. He really has a good grasp on how the Force works, and he really has a good grasp on the character of Snoke and the manipulation that was required to bring Kylo Ren over to the dark side. So I encourage you, all of you, to go check this comic out. Go read it wherever you can. It's available on Amazon, their comic app, which is Comixology or something. Go to your local comic store. I really encourage you to check it out. It's really good, worth the read. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. May God bless you and the Force be with you. If you enjoyed this episode, and frankly, even if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe.
Do it.
And if you want to help spread the word, please give this video a thumbs up and tell your friends to subscribe. Please check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise, and don't forget to check out all of the content playlists on this channel, including The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and much more.